All right, so good Sunday evening, and welcome back to JPCE Watchdog News, which is going to be part of Watchdog Ministries. So rebranding is definitely underway. I also encourage you all to like, share, subscribe. You can also follow us right here on Facebook. So here's our news, U.S. News and World Report for January 19th, 2025. The United States is in a critical juncture as it prepares for historic inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump. This event is set against a backdrop of turbulent political and economic landscape, with pressing issues such as the national debt ceiling, stock market fluctuations, and also a divided Congress. Americans are also bracing for a defining year. This report will cover the latest developments shaping our nation's future and also the world as we see it today. So, the first indoor inauguration in 40 years. I talked about this last night. And it's also due to intense winter storm forecasts. The 2025 presidential inauguration will occur indoors in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda. This marks the first indoor inauguration since 1985. This move has sparked both logistical challenges and heightened security concerns. Security has ramped itself up with a ring of steel, comprising of thousands of law enforcement personnel, military units, and intelligence agencies alike. Washington, D.C. is effectively on lockdown. I'm going to say that again. Washington, D.C. is effectively on lockdown, with checkpoints and restricted zones ensuring maximum safety. The Department of Homeland Security has classified the event as a national special security event. Let me say that again, all right? The Department of Homeland Security has classified this event as a national special security event, citing potential threats from extremist groups on All In. I said that last night. They are preparing for possible unrest and protests from groups that support Donald Trump and from groups that don't. Okay. Trump's return to the White House signals policy reversals from the previous administration. His first executive orders are expected. These are what you expect, right? So what he's going to do is reinstate the border wall expansion project along the U.S.-Mexico border. Okay. Withdraw from certain international climate agreements that President Biden has rejoined. He's also going to enact corporate tax cuts, right? Push for stricter voter ID laws, a move already challenged by civil rights groups, okay? With a split Congress, Republicans holding the House and Democrats narrowly controlling the Senate, the political battle over these policies is set to be a fierce one. So what is the economic outlook? Debt ceiling and market reactions. So debt ceiling crisis looms. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has issued a stark warning that the U.S. is just weeks away from reaching its debt ceiling, with a government shutdown looming if Congress fails to act. House Republicans are demanding deep spending cuts in exchange for raising the debt limit, while Senate Democrats argue that playing politics with the debt ceiling risks immediate economic instability. Let's talk about the stock markets. Financial markets have reacted with caution. So let me say that again. Financial markets have reacted with caution. The S&P 500 dropped 1.8% in pre-market trading, reflecting uncertainty over fiscal policy. Okay, tech stocks have been hit hard due to fears of increased regulations. Energy and defense sectors saw an uptick as investors anticipated a more aggressive U.S. foreign policy under President Trump. Cryptocurrency markets have also suffered due to anticipated crackdowns on digital asset regulations. Let's move on to the World Report. Okay. Global unrest and diplomacy, conflict and economic uncertainty. So the world remains on edge as geopolitical conflicts and economic uncertainties shape global affairs. From escalating tensions in Ukraine and Taiwan to fragile ceasefires in the Middle East, international diplomacy faces unprecedented challenges. This report provides an in-depth look at the major global stories dominating the headlines today. The Middle East, fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. It is. I don't think it'll last. A historic ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas has resulted in the release of hostages on both sides. 3 Israeli citizens, including a British-Israeli dual national, were freed after being held for over 15 months. In exchange, Israel has released 90 Palestinian prisoners. Okay? International mediation efforts. The ceasefire, as we all know, was brokered by Egypt and Qatar. If you didn't know that, you know that now. With significant pressure from the United States. However, concerns remain about its longevity. As hard-line factions within Hamas and Israeli right-wing groups oppose the agreement. Okay? The humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Despite the ceasefire, the humanitarian situation in Gaza remains dire. International relief organizations have called for increased aid shipments, citing severe shortages of medical supplies, food, and clean water. Ukraine and Russia conflict. I see no end in sight. Battlefield stalemate. Okay, fighting continues in eastern Ukraine, with Russia forces increasing their offensive in Donetsk. Ukrainian troops, backed by Western military aid, have held defensive lines, but both sides have suffered extremely heavy losses. NATO's growing involvement. The NATO has announced a $20 billion aid package to support Ukraine's military efforts. Ooh. Who's paying for it? Russia has responded by warning of serious consequences if Western nations continue supplying advanced weaponry. Analysts fear a broader escalation in 2025 if diplomatic solutions fail. Now, I will say this. Russia has been talking a lot, so has Ukraine and everyone and everyone else. We'll see if it really escalates or not, right? Talk about China and Taiwan, rising tensions in the Pacific, military drills, and economic sanctions. China has launched its largest military exercise near Taiwan in a decade, involving naval warships, fighter jets, and missile systems. This follows Taiwan's recent push for international recognition and closer ties with U.S. and Japan. The U.S. has reaffirmed commitment to Taiwan, sending additional naval forces to the South China Sea. Beijing has responded by imposing economic sanctions and Taiwanese businesses, further escalating tensions. The global economic challenges, Davos 2025. So Davos Forum overshadowed by political shifts. So the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, is taking place under the shadow of major geopolitical events. The key topics on that agenda include the impacts of U.S. policy shifts under President Trump, the future of digital currencies as governments around the world push for stricter regulations. And we're going to see cashless societies. It's not going to be good. Ongoing global conflicts caused by supply chain disruptions and inflation. Major corporations are adjusting their strategies in response to shifting economic trends, with some expressing concerns about new tariffs and trade restrictions. The world in 2025 is marked by uncertainty and also by lots of tensions. While diplomatic efforts continue, the challenges facing the United States and the international community require strong leadership and strategic decision-making. The coming weeks will be crucial in determining the trajectory of these conflicts and also the economic shifts. Thank you all again for following, so please stay in tune for more updates. This is JPCE Watchdog News. I'm signing off. Tomorrow, I will be live streaming the inauguration from my house. I don't know if I said that in the beginning. We're going to be also promoting Veterans for Cannabis, a new podcast that we are going to be kicking off very soon. So thank you all again for following. Right? Love you all so much. I hope you enjoyed these quick updates. Have a very blessed evening. Right? And I'll see you all tomorrow live streaming from my house the inauguration. And we're going to also promote Veterans for Cannabis podcast. Love you all so much. I am out. Please like and share this thing out. Love you all so much. I'm out.